all these people who work in the industry. Yeah, they need to understand what they're making, because for my industry, which is biologics, so there are two different, which is pharma and biologics. So for biologics, we are making more of like chemotherapy or immunotherapy or gene therapy, which is all the new upcoming, but actually it is a lot better than pharma itself, because we are making use of living organisms to make our medication.
Okay, need to pause,
yeah.
Jap. Need to pause for a while.
Sure.
Okay. We are going live on YouTube already. One, you can start your recording as well for your site.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think about 30 seconds or 1 minute we can start.
Okay.
Yeah, we will be on time, and then we will try to end on time also, inshallah.
Yeah, I saw Ibrahim one was like 45 minutes. I was like, mampus.
It's supposed to be 20 minutes, but I think for the past three speakers, we exceeded.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will try our best.
Let the conversation flow.
Okay, it's 5 o'clock. Ready?
Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to TCC Chat. I'm AJ.
I am Juan.
And we have a very special lady. Her name is Salwa Alsagoff. Graduated from NTU with a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and Biological Chemistry. She has held prior positions as Quality Chemist at 3M, Research Assistant at Covance Manufacturing Biotechnologist, Shift Lead at Roche, and is currently a Quality Specialist at Novartis. Wow, hi, hello. Assalamualaikum, Salwa.
Hello. Salam.
That was a mouth, you know, when I was trying to like read out, I was like, okay, make sure I pronounce it properly, you know. I want to, you know, invite my guests. So Salwa, maybe you can share a bit, like what do you do exactly, and maybe your series of experience.
So for the currently working as a QA specialist.
Yes.
So currently working as a QA specialist, basically my job role is to review batch records. So what are batch records? They are basically data that has been written by this manufacturing personnel on how this medication is manufactured. So as a QA, we will actually go through each and every page to ensure that there's no data integrity issue, there is no quality issue, and that the data is within the parameter or the range that is being described in the dossier that we have submitted to all the FDA. Yeah. So besides that, in my team also, we are also doing the batch release. So basically, we release the batches to the market. So before and prior to release, we ensure everything is good, that the certificate of analysis is as per it should. Yeah, and then if there was any deviations or investigations along the production of the process, then we need to ensure that all the gaps are filled, that there is no process impact, there is no product impact before we actually release it to the market. Yeah.
So how was your journey? Because you started join us TCC back in 2018 as a speaker for the natural sciences. How was your career journey from research to now in the industry doing manufacturing? Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So when I first started coming out from university, I was just a quality chemist in 3M. So basically, we were actually testing inhaler products, okay, that were manufactured in UK, and then it will be brought down to Singapore, and we, as a chemist, we will test to do stability studies. So from that, because research is okay, so there's a few things in research. Research that means you are at the first part of the research. So first part of the research is when you are the one making an analogy or making this theory that, okay, we are using this to make medication, whether it's going to work, etc. But then there's the other part where after you have manufactured what you want in the lab scale, then you will go through stability phase where people will test, okay, or chemists will test. So there is also like research. In a way, we as a chemist, we are able to tell them, because at the point of time, we were testing an inhaler where there was a low and there was a mid and there was a high dose. So as a chemist, when we were testing, we are able to see as we run our tests every day, whether and at which dose is more stable, at which dose it was giving consistent results. Yeah, and then we would feedback to the management saying, okay, you know, the low dose is not going to work. You cannot release this in market. It's not good, you know, and we should not upscale it into a manufacturing plant. Yeah, so that's how I started with. Yeah, then from there, I went into as a research assistant for nutritional products. So this research assistant of nutritional product is mainly what we do is we actually take formula, baby formula. So we do random testing of baby formula from all the different companies like YF, Abbott, um, Priso, all this. And then we will test to make sure that whatever is in the label is actually what is said. So if you are saying vitamin A is 10.0 gram or something like that, then we are going to test to ensure that this powder is giving this amount of vitamin. Yeah, so that was part of the research. So that one is the random testing, and this is actually hired by the client itself. Yeah, then after that I went to Roche. Okay, so actually from chemistry and from Covance is actually a lab scale, it's small scale. So when I went to Roche during interview, what I remember most is when I went into the manufacturing plant and I saw everything was so huge and I was so small. So for me, I was like, oh my God. And then there were big tanks and it was at high pressure and I could hear the pressure. And the interviewer was asking me, so what do you think? You sure you want this job? You know, and I was like, oh my God, do I really want this job? Yeah, so it's a switch actually from being a chemist to being a biotechnologist. And when I moved towards it, at first I was scared. To tell you the truth, I think anyone who starts a new job, they're always going to be scared. So I was very afraid. I didn't know how I could do things safely, you know. And then it's a lot of men in the industry also, you know, being biotech where it requires a lot of manual job. So you know, I would carry 10 kg, 12 kg bags and pour powder inside a huge 10K tank kind of thing, you know. So it was a new thing for me, but I loved it. So I didn't know. I was a chemist. Okay. So I came out doing chemistry. But when I went into being a biotechnologist, I loved it. And I never want to go back to become a chemist. Yeah. So so I think, right, for the students out there that are coming out from university, you should try whatever job that comes your way. But if you move along and you think that maybe this is not what I want, you should and take the risk to go to somewhere else. Maybe within the industry, a different department, but you will see that somehow you'll find something you really love. So yeah. So when I went to Roche, I really love what I was doing. And then from researching in the chem lab, and now I was doing manufacturing of the product itself.
Yeah.
And that was very different for me because in a chem lab, you're dealing with chemicals. You're dealing with things that uh, are made, you know, like ethanol, methanol. You're adding together this kind of things. But then when you're in a manufacturing plant, which is a biologics plant, you are making use of cells, E. coli cells or CHO cells. What are they? They are mammalian cells or bacterial cells. So you're going to grow them. So these cells, right? Actually, how do we make medicine from them? Actually, it starts from a vial, a small vial. And in that vial, there are cells. And these cells actually contain the nucleic acid or basically the medication that we want that has been injected into the cells. And with that small vial, we grow it into a 10K, which is 10,000 liter bioreactor. So, you know, as you know, cells, they grow on their own. So to me, I always tell and whatever we make from this biologic plants are usually for chemo, for immuno, and they really help patients. You know, actually recently one of my family member had a stage 4 cancer. So when we went to the clinic, right, there was this lady who came to us and said, oh, you know, I have stage 4, you know, but I'm using this product called Avastin. It is amazing. It has given me life. And Avastin is made in Roche. And I was so proud, so proud.
Hashtag promote.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like wow. It's like she was like, and she didn't even know I was working in Roche. So I
Yeah.
was telling her, oh, I'm working in Roche, and actually we make this in Singapore. We make this medication in Singapore. And she was like, oh, I didn't know, but she said it saved her life. So
Oh.
Yeah, so to me it's like yeah, then when I go into industry and I hear all this and I get to know how it works in the biologics, I really love it, and I feel that it is the path and the way forward in the future actually for medication. Yeah, and if you know, like now new things like immunotherapy has shown to work for a lot of cancer patients also.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, your question was how did I go from research to being in the industry? Is that maybe when we start with research, we get to know the base of how things are made, or maybe how these cells are actually grown. But then when you come to industry, we actually know how we can convert them into the medication that we take, which is amazing. Yeah, and then yeah, so
Sure.
then yeah,
Yeah, so it's really nice to hear, like when you found out that, people actually appreciate your work and it's being recognized. I totally understand that feeling. So
mm,
as we all know that currently we're in a very interesting, I would say, situation with the whole COVID situation, right? And
Yeah.
I really like your quote whereby you mentioned that believe that everything happens for a reason. Now,
yeah.
so Salwa, do you think that beyond this COVID situation, like, are there anything for the graduating youth or those who are currently looking for a job, maybe in the biochemist industry? Like, what is your take on that?
My take on that is I think they will be entering the industry in a whole new way actually, because actually it has changed. It has not changed us working. Means we are working every day. CB, not CB, we are working every day because we are essential.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
But we have changed the way we work, and I think that was uh, the most beautiful thing actually, because in the past it's always like, oh, you got to come to work, you got to sit, warm that chair from 8 to 5, which I
Yeah.
think is not a right concept. So now we actually have this where we work from home, we have split team, and actually we realize we are doing a lot better. We are releasing more batches, we are actually reviewing more batch records, because we are more streamlined in what we are supposed to do when we are on site or when we are at home. Yeah, and I think for them, right, coming to industry now, it's a interesting time to come into the industry, because it is now being seen, and everyone is realizing that this industry is important. This industry is it's important for people to come into this industry being passionate about it. Actually,
Mm,
yeah, you
mm.
need to be passionate about the fact that you are making medicine for people who are sick, and you don't know in the future it may be for someone in your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So coming to industry, they need to be all open-minded. That means maybe the way things are working now is different. That means maybe they're going to tell you, hey, half of the month you're going to work from home, half of the month you're going to work from office. But as a student coming out, you must understand that this doesn't mean when you work from home, I'm going to play a game halfway, that I'm going to do my work halfway. You
Mm.
need to have that discipline, which is to sit down and do what you're supposed to do, make sure you get your stuff done, or maybe even actually what is most important, especially for students who are coming into the industry where they don't know how you work. They don't know whether you are good. They know whether you are just someone who can talk, but you cannot do work. You all you do is delegate to other people. You don't want to take up the role itself. So what's important is for you to show yourself. Means to go above and beyond. Means if your job is to do something further, so that they are able to recognize your efforts.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think that's important in the industry, especially for people of the minority. Because they will always have this stigma there for us. But if we are able to show them who we are, how we are, and we must ikhlas. When we work, we ikhlas with what we do. Then we are sincere with what we do. Then there are actually a lot of roles and responsibility that you can take up in your job.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how do we know whether we are, I mean, if we are in a biomedical field, either chemistry, biology, or whatever, how do we know we are the research species or the industry species? I mean, because you're talking about being passionate, being liking what you do. Maybe you can share a little bit more. Maybe our youth can, you know, uh, use that as a guidance to lead them into the right direction.
Yeah. So, okay, so how do you know if you are good for research? I have no idea how to know, but to me, right, I knew I didn't like research when I actually wanted to do research. So actually, I went out to work in the industry first. So I went out as a chemist first, and then NTU came and offered me a scholarship for doing PhD with them. But when I went back to school and I had to work with the professor on his research or from the research that they're doing, which I didn't get to choose what I was doing the research on. I actually realized that that's not for me because I am a person who likes to deal with people. I like to work with people. I like to help people. I cannot just work on a plate, an agar plate, and yeah, I cannot. I just need to talk to someone. I need to be with someone. So I realized that that was not for me. So for people who are doing research, I know there are people who graduate doing research. So I did research also during my NTU days for one of my SEM. So I did a research on something about vitamin E and how it can actually be one of the ways uh, to cure cancer. So when I was working on it, it was quite fun, but after a while, I didn't see the liking for it. But actually, that's where maybe I knew I wasn't for research. So my advice to the students is, if your university allows you to do research, take it, do it, even if you've graduated and they offer you, hey, maybe you want to do a 6 month stint with us just to do a small research with us, and you don't know whether you are a research person or you want to go into the industry, then just take it, learn from it, do the research and see whether it's for you. Yeah, because the industry is there and will always be there to me. Yeah, but research, sometimes when you're already in the industry and you want to come into research, it's quite difficult because it's a different world. Yeah, so my advice is, as long as you're still in school, you can do your research or you can join A-Star, get to know whether that is the path for you. But if not, actually the industry is very wide. There are a lot of things you can do. As a biomedical in the field, you can be a chemist, work in the lab. You can do manufacturing, which is very interesting. Okay, and then you can also come to QA, quality, where you actually do batch release, and you have to, as a QA also, you actually have to understand the manufacturing process. If not, you are not able to be a quality uh, person to release the batch. You wouldn't know whether something went wrong in the manufacturing plant or not, because you're not able to understand the process itself. So yeah, and then yeah, so for me, I think it's about understanding, if to know whether research is for you is to try it out, give it a try.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's I guess that's is relevant. You have to try it out and see whether is it meant for you or not, and then after that you have to move on from there, right? So
yeah.
perhaps because of the current situation, and we're looking at beyond COVID situation, right? Are you aware of there? Are there any existing opportunities that perhaps the youth can look into, or maybe companies that are open to hiring at the current moment? Maybe you could share so that these actionables that the youth can actually take, and like, okay, if I want to do research, I can look at company XYZ, or I want to do, if I want to do biochemist, I can look at company ABC, for example. Yeah, maybe you can share with us as well.
Yeah, so what I know is there are companies like the Duke NUS are doing a lot of research. Uh, what's the other? A-Star is also doing a lot of research. And I think post COVID-19, there are going to be more and more research, because they definitely need people to come in to do research with them, not just for COVID-19 cure or vaccine. There are so many other things like dengue and uh, but the chikungunya or something like that. So there are a lot of things that actually need people to do research. And actually, Singapore has a lot of bandwidth. A-Star itself is very big. They actually can do a lot of research. But all they need are students. They need people to come in, to be interested, to want to do it. So if I feel that if you want to go into research, this is where you go to. You go to A-star, which is stable. You go to um, Duke and US. You can also, for me, when I was trying to find a job, actually my professors helped me a lot. So
Mm.
actually, do go back to your professors.
Mm.
Do ask them for their advice. Or like tell them what is your interest. My interest is to find a cure for cancer. My interest is to find a new way to ensure the the cars use less oil or something like that. Whichever is your interest, you should go back to your professor and ask them maybe if they know which field, which industry is good for you, because
Yeah.
most of them hold quite high ranks in the industry itself. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. One question that comes to me, Salwa, this guy asking about how about manufacturing? I mean, can a fresher join manufacturing straight? What would be the existing opportunities as of now that I can join if I want to go into the manufacturing line?
Freshmen go into manufacturing. Is that the
Correct.
question?
Yeah. So previously, I mean, basically like your previous answer, but previously was more about research. So how about if I want to join manufacturing?
Definitely. Actually, coming from someone, I mean, I am someone who always uh, will help others to how you say it, promote them to people in the manufacturing industry, because I know a lot of the people now in the different
Great.
companies. Yeah. So actually, in manufacturing, we love freshmen. Okay. Okay. So we love freshmen because they come with something where they do not have much knowledge in how the industry works. So when we are teaching them, it's easy for them to grasp the concept. Yeah. But when you come from someone with 8 years of industry experience, and then you're doing something totally different with manufacturing, you have a lot of your old habits that will come in and affect. So actually, freshmen manufacturing will love you. Yeah. So yeah, they will love you, and it is a good industry for you to join, be it API or biologics, because it is a stable industry. It will be there for a long time, because people are always gonna get sick. We have to be, yeah, and they will need medication,
Mm.
and it's good for you to join as a in manufacturing, because actually manufacturing, people will think, oh, manufacturing is like a low skill job, not not for. I got a chem background, I studied so
Mm.
hard in science. This is not
Yeah.
what I do. But yeah, that was my concept. It's really, that's how I thought at first. Manufacturing? Are you serious? Why am I doing manufacturing? I mean, I
Yeah.
studied in the lab. It's so much more wow. But
Mm.
yeah, but when I went into manufacturing, and then I realized manufacturing is wow, because
Great.
it's not just about because when you work in biologics, okay, maybe when you're making medication which is chemical based medication, like Panadol and such. These are all things that are confirmed. Means you do it that way, it will be that way. There's no change. But when you work with biologics, when you work with cells, no matter how good your raw materials are, as long as they are a different batch, actually your cells will react a different way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as a biochemist, as a biotech, you need to observe them. I mean, it's weird, but you need to observe the cells. You need to observe to make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to do, that they are hitting all the milestones they're supposed to hit. And if they don't, that means they are reacting to it. Are they dying earlier? Are they dying faster? If they are dying earlier, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to stop production? Are we supposed to push ahead? So these are, every day is different. And that's why I like about manufacturing. Yeah.
Great. Great.
So, yeah. So,
I guess for those of you watching this video, if you are interested to know more what are the opportunities out there in manufacturing, reach out to us. Then perhaps we can link you
yeah.
up with Salwa, and then she knows your industry, I think, for
Mm.
many years already. Great. To wrap it up, Salwa, what would be your wish for the youth for this Raya?
Which for the youth?
Yeah, or
Uh,
your greetings for the youth for the Raya. What would that be?
Minal Aidin wal Faizin. Have a good raya, but coming from the medical point of view, please stay home.
uh, uh,
Uh, please stay home. please, if you have to, after the 2nd of June, you can go and visit your parents, if you're not staying with them, and try as much as possible to stay home, to stay safe, to wear the mask, because actually, even as the medical industry are scurrying to make medication or to find a vaccine, right? The cells can only work so much. So we can only make so much of medication at one time. So it takes effort from everyone to make this work or to help to, throw this COVID-19 away from us, And inshallah, next year Hari Raya will be the best. Yeah. So yeah.
And thank you so much, Salwa, for your essential work.
No problem.
That's Salwa Alsagoff, everyone. Join us next time with our next professional. Thank you so much, Salwa. And do stay in touch with us at tertiary.cc in our Instagram, tertiary.cc. And see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, selamat berbuka.
Selamat berbuka.